कहना गौर कथा गौरीरानाममिया राधा पीरिति मूर्ति दाता कहना गौर कथा शयन गौर स्वपन गौर गौरनयनिरतार शयन गौर स्वपने गौर गौरनयनिरतार हियार माझरे गौ जीवने गौर मरणे गौर गौर गलार जीवने गौर मरणे गौर गौर गलार हियार माझरे गौरांग राखिया हियार माझरे गौरांग राखिया विरले बासिया राब विराले बासिया राब मन रे साधे तेसे रूपाच्या दे रे नयने नयने थोबा मान रे साधे ते से रूपच्या दे रे नयने नयने थोबा मन रे कहना गौर कथा मन रे कहना गौर कथा गौरा विहाने नाचवांची पारणे गौरा करेची सार गौरा विहाने नावांची पारणे गौरा करेची सार गौरा बालिया चौक जीवने गौरा बालिया चौक जीवने किछु ना चाहिबार किछु ना चाहिबार गौर गमन गौर गथन गौरमुखे रहासी गौरगमन गौरगथन गौरमुखे रहासी गौरपीरिति गौरमूर्ति गौरपीरिति गौरमूर्ति हियाय राहल पाशी हियाय राहल पाशी मन रे कहना गौर कथा मन रे कहना गौर कथा गौर धर्म गौर कर्म गौर वेदेर सार गौर धर्म गौर कर्म गौर वेदेर सार गौर चरणे परान संपिनु गौर चरणे परान संपिनु गौरकारी पेन पार गौरकारी पेन पार गौर शपद गौर संपद जाहर हियाय जागे गौर शपद गौर संपद जाहर हियाय जागे नरहरिदास ताहार चरणे नरहरिदास ताहार चरणे शतत शरण मागे शतत शरण मागे मन रे कहना गौर कथा गौरेरा नाम अमियर धाम गौरेरा नाम अमियर धाम पीरिति मूरति दाता गमन रे कहना गौर कथा कहना गौर कथा. Hare Krishna. Translation. O mind, speak only about Gaura. Gaura's name is the abode of nectar and the worshipable bestower of Nattojvala Prema. In sleeping Gaura, in dreaming Gaura. Gaura is the star of my eyes. In life, Gaura, at the time of death, Gaura. Gaura's name is the precious necklace I wear around my neck. Keeping Gauranga inside my heart, I will sit alone and fix my mind on his enchanting moon-like form. I will gaze in his eyes and become absorbed in his beauty. Without Gaura, I cannot live. Gaura is my everything. I pray to give up my life, taking the name of Gauranga and nothing else. Gaura's movements, Gaura's nature, Gaura's smiling face, Gaura's love, Gaura's full form all enter my heart. Gaura is my dharma. He is my object of karma. Gaura is the essence of Vedas. I surrender my life at the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. It is Lord Gauranga who will take me across the ocean of material existence. Gaura is the essential sound vibration and wealth of that person in whose heart he manifests. Narahari Dasa always prays to take shelter at the feet of such a person. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rakshamika ji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा. दंडवत प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज. गौरांग प्रणाम से शुरू करती हूँ. नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः. पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्. श्री श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हो. पंचतत्व की जय हो. Today also I am doing Navagauravaram by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Krita. Hare Krishna. Navagauravaram Navapushpasharam Navabhavadharam Navalasyaparam Navahasyakaram Navahemavaram प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं नवप्रेमयुतं नवनीताशुचं नववेशकृतं नवप्रेमरसं नवधाविलसतशुभप्रेमामयम् प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं हरिभक्तिपरं हरिनामाधरं करजप्यकरं हरिनामपरं नयने सततं प्रणयाश्रुधरं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं सततं जनता भवता परमार्थपरायण लोकगतिं नवलेहाकरं जगतापहरं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं निजभक्तिकरं प्रिय चारुतरं नटनर्तननागरराजकुलं कुलकामिनी मानसलास्यकरं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं करतालवलं कलकण्ठवरं मृदवाद्य सुवीणीक्या मधुरं निजभक्तिगुणानु निजभक्तिगुणावृणनाट्यकरं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं युगधर्मयुतं पुननन्दसुतं धरणी सुचित्रं भवो भावोचितं तदुना तनुध्यानचितं निजवासयुतं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरम् अरुणं नयनं चरणं वसनं वदने स्खलितं स्वकनामधरं कुरुते सुरसं जगत जीवनं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरं प्रणमामि शची गौरवरं प्रणमामि शचीसुत गौरवरम्। श्रीला सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य की जय हो। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। पंचतत्व की जय हो। ट्रांसलेशन: his complexion is the hue of fresh cream tinged with the kumkum. He is ever fresh cupid who shoots around of newly blossomed flower. He bears newer and newer moods of emotional ecstasies. He is fond of performing novel dance. He makes every new joke that causes much laughter. His brilliant luster is like freshly cast gold. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. He is endowed with ever fresh love of Godhead. His radiant luster is like the color of fresh butter. His fresh attire is arranged in ever new fashion. He relishes ever new melodies of love for Krishna. He shines in ninefold new ways while executing the ninefold process of devotion. He is permitted with a most auspicious loving nature. I bow down to Gora, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. He is absorbed in devotion to Sri Hari. He maintains the chanting of the names of Hari. While chanting, the counts the holy names on the fingers of his hand. He is addicted to the name of Hari. He always has tears of love welling in his eyes. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. He is always removing the suffering of material existence for mankind. He is the goal of life for persons who are dedicated to their supreme interest. He inspires men to become like honeybees, eager for the honey of Krishna Prema. He removes the burning fever of the material world. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He who motivates pure devotion unto himself, who is most attractive to his beloved servitor. By his dramatic dancing, he exhibits the characteristics of the king of Paramars. He causes the mind of beautiful young village woman to dance. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. He plays kartal. His throat emanates sweet melodies, sounds, and the vibrant notes of the veena are softly played. He thus inspired the devotees to perform dramatic dancing that is infused with aspect of his own devotional service. I bow down to the Gora, the beautiful son of Sachi. He is accompanied by the Sankirtan movement, which is the religious practice for the age of Kali. He is the son of Nanda Maharaj come again. He is the extraordinary brilliant ornament of the earth. His preaching mood is suitable adapted by the cycle of birth and death. His consciousness is fixed in meditation on his own form of Krishna. He is always accompanied by his transcendental abode. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. His eye is the sole of his feet, and his clothing are reddish like the color that heralds the rising sun. As he utters his own names, his voice flatters, he awakens sweet flower of life throughout the universe. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Dandot pranam to all devotees. Thank you so much for wonderful Seva Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
माताजी, राजकुमारी माताजी, हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna. Rajkumari Mataji, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Sorry. Hare Krishna to all. Dandavat pranam to you all. प्रभु जी एंड माता जी, शरण प्रभु जी। इसमें भगवान कृष्ण जो है वो अर्जुन को युद्ध के लिए प्रेरित कर रहे हैं। वो अर्जुन को कह रहे हैं कि अर्जुन, आपका युद्ध करना बहुत जरूरी है। अगर आप युद्ध नहीं करते, युद्ध से भाग जाते हो, तो आपका अपयश चारों ओर फैल जाएगा। एक्चुअली भगवान कृष्ण जो है वो अर्जुन के माध्यम से आम जनता को ये मैसेज देना चाहते हैं कि हर व्यक्ति को अपना धर्म का पालन करना चाहिए, अपनी ड्यूटीज फुलफिल करनी चाहिए। तो इसमें भगवान कह रहे हैं, स्वधर्म सॉरी स्वधर्म पिचावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्मादियुत श्रेयोन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते। ट्रांसलेशन: Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. यच्छ्राचोपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्. O Parth, happy are the Kshatriya to whom such fighting opportunity come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्य संग्रामं न करिष्यसि तत स्वधर्मकीर्ति च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. अथ अकीर्ति चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते भयाम् संभावितस्य चाकीर्तिर्मरणादतिरिच्यते. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. भयाद् भयाद्रान्तुपरतं मनस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्त्व सामर्थ्य ततो दुःखतरं नु किम्. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्ग जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कुन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चय. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. सुखे दुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जया जयो ततो युद्धाय युजस्व नैवं पापमेवाप्स्यसि. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing shall never incur sin. एषा ते मिहिता सांख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमाशृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्म बंधन प्रहास्यसि. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pratha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. नेहाभिकर्मणाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमपि यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for this subject.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will be discussing in brief Canto 3 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we begin, let us do Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते. तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायश भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So, dear devotees, we have finished with the brief introduction of the second canto. Today, we are going to look into the third canto. Third canto, as you know, comes in two parts, part one and part two. So, we will try to complete the two parts today. The third canto begins how, that is, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadev Goswami, how did Vidura and sage Maitreya meet? And what happened? Because Shukadeva Goswami is talking in the third canto about the wonderful meeting of Vidura and sage Maitreya. And he says that it is so important to understand their conversation. So then Parikshit Maharaj becomes very curious as to how did they meet. So, if we want to study this canto, we can divide this into five parts for easy understanding. First part of the third canto will be meeting of Uddhava and Vidura. Second part will be about Sarga and Visarga. That is, the first two topics are the 10 topics of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we discussed in the last canto. Then the third part will be Lord Varahadev's pastimes. The fourth part will be how Kardama Muni and Devahuti get married. And the fifth part will be teachings of Lord Kapila Dev. I hope you all can see the screen. Can you just tell me whether you can see the screen?
Yes, Mataji,
Mata.
we can.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, the third canto, we will start part 1, chapters 1 to 4 are about meeting of Uddhava and Vidura. Okay. So, Parikshit Maharaj is asking how did they meet. So, let's talk, let then Shukadev Goswami is going to now describe. See, as we know, Srimad Bhagavatam is a whole set of conversations. It is conversation within conversation within conversation. So, like Sutta Goswami is talking to the sages of Naimisharanya, they are asking very important questions, 6 questions of the sages. And Sutta Goswami, in answer, is talking about the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he is actually talking what Shukadev Goswami talked to Parikshit Maharaj. That also is a conversation. So now conversation within conversation. Then Shukadev Goswami is now talking about the conversation of who? Of Vidura and Maitreya, which is an important conversation. So it is a conversation within conversation within conversation. And this is how it is going to go on. There's going to be so many more conversations within this conversation, and we are going to really relish all these conversations. So, how does Vidura leave home? So, once after the exile of the Pandavas, they come back to claim their kingdom, and they are flatly refused by Duryodhan. And Dhritarashtra also does not oppose this. And so what happens? Vidura is now advising his brother Dhritarashtra that please don't do this. This is very unfair. This is not fair what you are doing. Please give them back their kingdom. And in the process, Duryodhana gets angry and he insults Vidura. Vidura gets insulted by the way Duryodhana speaks to him. He says, "You are a dasi putra. Uh, you are just living on our remnants and such things." So Vidura gets very hurt and he just leaves home. He just mentioned he puts the bow at the doorstep and he leaves. And he goes on a Tirtha Yatra. So there he goes in so many places. He visits Prabhasa Kshetra and everywhere. And then finally he comes to Yamuna, the banks of Yamuna, where he meets Uddhava. Uddhava is who? Who is Uddhava? Uddhava is the cousin of Lord Krishna. He is the son of Krishna's uncle, Devabhag, and paternal uncle. That means his from his father's side, Vasudev's side. So he's the son of Devabhaga and he is a very, very, very dear to Krishna, is extremely devoted. And from his childhood, Uddhava is very much in love with the Lord. So when Vidura asks about about Krishna and the Yadus, Uddhava is so excited to tell right from the childhood pastimes of Krishna. He explains everything what happened in Vrindavan and what happened in Mathura, what happened in Dwarka. And then finally, he also tells Vidura the sad story of how the Yadus fought at Prabhasa and left, and then also Krishna left for his abode. So he also tells Vidura that when this was happening, Maitreya Muni happened to come there and there were interesting talks about Uddhava. He is telling Vidura that before leaving, Krishna gave him advice. Go to Badrikashram, meet Naranarayana Rishi, and then everything will be okay for you, fine with you. You can then go back to Krishna. So this Krishna is telling Uddhava. Why? Because he is also explaining to Uddhava that you are actually Uddhava uh, is a permanent resident of Golok, right? He is always with Krishna. He is a Nitya Siddha. But one part Krishna says in the Srimad Bhagavatam that one plenary portion of Uddhava was one of the 8 Vasus. So all the 8 verses were praying to Krishna, and when they were asked benediction, this Uddhava's plenary portion, which was one of the 8 verses, asked for constant remembrance and association of Krishna. So he wanted association. Therefore, he comes as Uddhava in this material world also to take part in Krishna's pastimes. So he also tells Vidura that while going, Krishna, or I asked Krishna, Krishna, can you please bless me with self knowledge? Can you make me a jnani? I mean, uh, knowledge about myself. Can you tell me this? And Krishna benedicted Uddhava and gave him the self knowledge that we see later on in Uddhava Gita. So then Vidura asks Uddhava, can you just tell me what Krishna told you? Then Uddhava says, actually, I'm much younger than you. So Uddhava feels a little bit inhibited and he tells him, why don't you go to Vidura? Why don't you go to Maitreya? Maitreya also was there at present and he can enlighten you. So you can meet him on the banks of Ganga. Saying this, Uddhava goes to Badrikashram. Then Vidura continues his pilgrimage and he comes to Haridwar, which is on the banks of Ganga. There he meets Maitreya Muni. When he meets Maitreya Muni, he is already aware that Maitreya Muni knows so many important aspects of Krishna consciousness. So he wants to discuss with him. And then he approaches him. Maitreya Muni is very happy to receive Vidura, and both of them engage in conversations. Now we are going to see the next the next chapters from chapter 5 to chapter 12, which is the second part of our discussion today, which is Sarga and Visarga. That is, Vidura is asking Maitreya about Krishna's different incarnations and how he did creation. Sarga Visarga actually means creation. Sarga is primary creation, Visarga is secondary creation. So we will see how that takes place. That is chapter 5, and then chapter 6. We have Maitreya is relating the pastimes of Purushavatars. What are the Purushavatars? How Mahavishnu came, how he was lying in the Karana ocean. Then from his pores, all the universes are coming out. Then in each universe, which is like a small mustard seed, it's actually atomic in nature for Mahavishnu. But in each universe, then Mahavishnu expands as Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu and he creates this Garbhodaka ocean with his sweat and he lies down in that ocean and how from his navel comes the lotus flower and on the lotus flower is the born Brahmaji. Then from how this is the second Purushavatar, first is Karanodaka Shai Vishnu, second is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, and then Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu also then expands into Shirodakashai Vishnu. So within the universe, there is a milk ocean, and on the milk ocean lies Shirodakashai Vishnu, who is the expansion of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So Shirodakashai Vishnu is having his own Vaikuntha there inside our universe, and then Shirodakashai Vishnu then again expands into all the Paramatmas which are living, which are within all the living beings. All the Paramatmas present in the living beings is the expansions of Shirodakashai Vishnu. So these are the three Purushavatars: Karanodakashai, Garbhodakashai, and Shirodakashai. Then Maitreya also tells about how the demigods of the senses they became very frustrated. Why? Because the beginning of creation the ingredients of the universe they were not combining together. That means all the 23 elements which are not combining, then how they can start the universe, how they can start progeny. So then the Lord, what he did, he entered the elements along with the time, and then Virat Purusha, the universal form, came. So that's how the Virat Purusha came. And which then manifested the demigods, planets, living entities, and varnas. So different, Virata Purusha, how it is described, the Virata Purusha's body, that the rivers are his veins, the bones are his mountains, like that. Then the chapter 7, Vidura is asking how Lord Brahma created the universe after the appearance of Viratas, this Virat Purusha or Virat Rupa. How did he do that? Because now Virat Purusha is there. Now there is a place for everyone to live on the Virat Purusha's body. And then how did Brahma create the universe? So he is asking. So this is Visarga actually. Sarga has happened. All the elements have come. That is the Sarga, that is Krishna is creating. Then all this Virat Purusha is all created. Now is it Visarga time. So Brahma is now going to create. So how can we understand how that the Lord, okay, he is transcendental, and how can he be connected with material gunas? Because we said he entered into the elements, and how can he do that? And how does the pure soul, we are pure soul, right? How can we fall into Maya, into nations? And why do we suffer although Lord is within our heart? So very good questions, isn't it? All these questions are very, very pertinent and very sound. So the answer which is given by Maitreya is that the Maya and Gunas are his energies, are his own energies. So they are under his control. Although he assumes that he is within this material world, he's not in this material world. Although Kshirodak Shai Vishnu is within this material world, he is still in the Vaikuntha. So like that, because the Gunas, Maya, are his energies and they are under his control. Then how about our sufferings? So the distress of our living entity is misidentification, because we have identified ourselves with this body and therefore we are suffering, which is unreal. The moment we don't identify with the body, we identify with our soul only, and we realize that the soul is only a servant of Krishna. That's it. Then our distress is gone. So we are suffering. Although the Lord is in our heart, we are suffering because of a misidentification. And what is the solution? How do we do that? The solution also is given, that is devotional service. So then we go to the 8th chapter where Vidura is asking about the vibhutis. And how about vibhutis of Krishna, and how about the Visargas, how about the Manus, what about the planets and the Varnashrama, etc. So then he's answered how Lord Brahma appears on the top of the lotus flower, which emanates from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And Brahma did not know who he was, or he did not know why he was born. But then he meditated for 100 celestial years, and then he could see the Lord lying on Anantashesh. Then Brahma prayed to the Lord. In the 9th chapter, is Brahma is praying to the Lord for the power to create the world. And the Lord is assuring him that, yes, I am going to reveal you this knowledge through the heart. Tene Brahma Rida Adikavai, if you remember. Then the 10th chapter is Brahma already got the knowledge, so he started creating. So he created the 14 planetary systems. First, he divided the Anda, that is the Brahmanda, he divided into 3 parts, that is the upper part, the middle part, and the lower part. After that, he started creating the residents of different kinds of beings. So, what he did on the upper part, he created the planetary systems, that is from um, we have our Bhu. Bhuvarsva, Bhu is the middle planetary system. From above Bhumandala is all the upper planetary system. Bhuvarsva, then Mahar, Tapa, Jana, and Satya. So these are the upper planetary systems. Then lower also he created Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, and Patala. So 7 below, 6 above. Total 14. Okay, middle is the earth, 6 above the earth, 7 below the earth. So after this 14 planetary systems, Vidura is asking about the characteristics of time. So what is this time all about? And in brief, Maitreya is talking about time right now because in the 11th chapter is going to talk about time in detail. Then first he begins with the destruction. First, the destruction of the how the destruction takes place. Kala, that means destruction is taking place at the end of the life of Brahmaji. And Dravya is destruction taking place at the end of one day of Brahmaji. Okay, and Guna is during the different Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali, like that. So this is the destruction, there are three types. Then how 10 types of creation, 6 primary, 3 secondary, and 1 mixed. We are going to now learn about the different 10 types of creation. Out of the creation, 6 primary, okay, Prakrita or Sarga is done by the Lord, as we know. We learned in the beginning, Sarga, the elements or whatever, all were done by the Lord. So the Lord brought about Mahatattva, Ahankar, Tanmatra, Indriya, Deva, and the Tamas. What is this? Mahatattva means sum total of matter, means there is the matter is in one homogeneous form is Mahatattva, and then because of Daiva Chorita, because of Krishna's glance, then it again gets agitated. Then Ahankar comes in, which is false ego. Tanmatras come in, there is sense object, sound, touch, all this. And then the Indriyas come, the senses come, the ears, the eyes, the nose, etc. And then the Devas are created, demigods, created by Lord, and the mind. Uh, they and the mind of course is within the indriyas, and then the tamas, that is the ignorance. Now ignorance has to be created, false ego has to be created, otherwise we will not enjoy in this material world. We will continue to think that we want to enjoy separate from Krishna, but we cannot. Why? Because we are not having this false ego or ignorance. The moment Krishna creates this false ego ignorance and gives it to us, then we forget about Krishna, and then only we can try to enjoy separate from Krishna. Then we come to the secondary creation, which is three, which are the actually secondary creation is done by Brahmaji, and he is going to do it in actually three, but you can say human and demigods together. So three is the jivas or the immovable plants and all that, which are immovable jivas. Then the movable jivas, which are into two different categories. One is the lower species, the animals, and humans and demigods are clubbed together. You can also make it as four: jivas, animals, humans, demigods, like that. So that is the creation done by Brahmaji, and that is called Vaikrita or Visarga. So Prakrita or Sarga is done by the Lord. Vaikrita or Visarga is done by Brahmaji. The elements and all are created by the Lord. The species, humans, demigods, jivas, plants are created by Brahmaji. Now, there is another creation that is called Prakrita and Vaikrita together, mixed creation. Example is the creation of Kumaras. So when they were generated by Brahmaji's meditation on the Lord, so there is now Brahma also is involved, the Lord is also involved, because both are the causes, and therefore their creation of the Kumaras is called as mixed, Prakrita and Vaikrita. So in the 11th chapter, the Vidura had queried about time, isn't it? And he also had asked, who are those people who are living beyond one kalpa? One kalpa is one day of Brahma. Then Maitreya is then describing the duration of time from the smallest fraction of a second, which has no uh, time measurement in English equivalent. So that small fraction of a time. If you wish, there is a list of that. If we have time later on, we'll talk about. You can remind me of how the Paramanu atom is the time for the sun to pass 1 Parmanu distance. Modern time, there is no approximation. Then Anu is 2 Paramanus and Trasarenu is 3 Anus. Then Truti is 3 Trasarenus. Now this has a time, modern time approximation is 8 of 13,500th of a second. 8 by 13,500th of a second. That is Truti. We have in the Gopi Gita, Truti Yugayate Tvam Apashyatam. So like that, even that Truti, which is 8 by 13,500 of a second, they cannot take that separation also from Krishna. So there is all this time, Truti, Vedha, Lava, Nimesha. So we said Nimisha, right? 1 Nimesha. So Nimesha is 3 lavas, which is 8 by 15th of a second. Then Kshana, 1 Kshana is 3 Nimeshas, which is 8 by 5 of a second. So like that, we have Kashta, Lagu, Nadika, Danda, Muhurta, Prahara. Then comes Prahara means 3 hours divided 3 hours. 1 Prahara is 3 hours of the modern time calculation. Then comes day and night, then fortnight, month, season, then years. So this is the calculation of time. Then he describes how Brahmaji lives for 311 trillion years. This is the lifetime of Brahmaji is only 1 nimisha or the less than a second. We saw, right? Nimisha is 8 by 15th of a second. For the Lord who is beginningless. So therefore, the lifetime of Brahma and the universe, which resembles like an atom, okay, when it comes out of the bodily pores of Mahavishnu, it's like an atom coming out. It's so insignificant. The lifetime of Brahma is insignificant. The entire the universe, the size of the universe, the amount of the time the universe is present is all insignificant if we compare it to the life. There is no measure for the, because the Lord is beginningless, and therefore we see that there is no comparison for the Lord. The lifetime of Brahma or even the manifestation of this universe is just insignificant. Then how the sun enlivens everyone and he takes away the duration of every living entity so that they can give up attachment is also explained by Maitreya. So then we come to the 12th chapter. 12th chapter is when the Kumaras are being, as we know, they have been created by Brahmaji with the help of the Lord. And then the Kumaras refuse to help in progeny because they already liberated souls. And Brahmaji is suppressing his anger because this is the first sons he has created. And he wanted them to create progeny and nothing is happening. And he is very angry. And he suppresses his anger from his, between his brows. He gives birth to Rudra. Then from this Rudra, they were born there's 11 Rudras, and when Brahmaji asked them to create, they created beings which were destructive. So then Brahmaji understood that Rudra, the work the Rudra is supposed function the Rudra is supposed to perform is destruction. So immediately stopped Rudra from procreating and then told them to go and do meditation. So this is how Rudra was stopped from doing from procreating. Then from his mind and his body, 10 sons were born from different parts, like from his thumb. Daksha was born in this way. From his mind, Marichi and Kardama Muni was born. And then Narad Muni from his deliberation. So that was the highest. Then Dharma and Adharma also were born. In this way, 4 Vedas, Upavedas, and then finally Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa. So this is the first Manu and the wife of him, that is Shatarupa, were born. So this was the beginning of the creation. That's how the progeny took place. After which we go to the next section, which is chapters 13 to 19, which is the pastime of Lord Varahadev. Then, when he created Swayambhuva and Shatarupa, he told them, okay, now you are the first Manu and your wife is Shatarupa. Now please go ahead and procreate and do progeny and fill up the universe. So when he gave them this order, they were very, very obedient. And Brahmaji was feeling very happy because his first sons had refused. But Swayambhuva Manu agreed and he said, yes, I will do it. But then he told Brahmaji, but where am I going to do it? The earth is not here. The earth has gone into the bottom of the ocean. So please retrieve her, then we will start our job. And then Lord Brahmaji was thinking how to recover the earth from Garbhodaka ocean because I'm here creating, and I'm so much involved in creation, and in this the earth has already slipped and fallen into the ocean. So please remember, dear devotees, this is before this is the first Varaha, Shweta Varaha. So not the other Varaha which killed Hiranyaksha, right? So Neela Varaha or Rakta Varaha also we are going to talk about who killed Hiranyaksha. Because at this time, when Swayambhuva and Shatrupa were the first creations of Brahmaji, and yet Kashyapa and all this have not yet been born, and what to speak of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So, so here we are talking only about the first Varaha Dev, that is Shweta Varaha. So there are two Varahas which were described by Maitreya Muni, and they came in two different Manvantaras. Now, this Shweta Varaha appeared from the nostril of Brahmaji, and Brahmaji was amazed that because he started growing in size in front of his eyes, and he was gigantic. He was thinking, who is this? This must be the Supreme Lord. And then this Varahadev jumped inside the ocean, and the ocean was praying to the Lord, please don't split me into two. And the Lord just dived deep into the ocean, and on his tusks he brought back Mother Earth and placed her in the orbit. And then started Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa were allotted this planet, so that Bhumandala, so that they could then start their progeny. So here Maitreya Rishi also is talking about another pastime. So there's two pastimes together. Sometimes we can get confused, but there are two different Manvantara. Chakshusha Manvantara, there came the Neelavaraha or actually Raktavaraha. Why? Because Neelavaraha, he was bluish in color. He came, and we all know the story of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu and how Hiranyaksha also displaced Mother Earth from the orbit. And then Varahadev, that is Neela Varaha, came, and he's called Raktavaraha because when he killed Hiranyaksha, the blood splattered on his body and he looked red in color. So he was also called Raktavaraha. So actually, he was Neela Varaha. So we saw this pastimes of Varahadev. Then Vidura suddenly asks Maitreya Rishi, who is this Hiranyaksha? Can you tell me more about him? So Maitreya Rishi then describes how at an inauspicious time he was conceived from Diti and Kashyapa. It was twilight. Twilight time is not an auspicious time because Lord Shiva is passing by with his ganas, and this is not the right time for conceiving. When Diti and Kashyapa conceived at that time, and it was Providence, and these two brothers, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, were born, and they were actually, who were they? They were the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, Jai and Vijay. So now look, Lord Brahma is explaining the events. So now there's another conversation within the conversations. So we have to keep a track of these conversations. So who were these gatekeepers and Jai Vijay, and why were they here as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu? Which then Brahmaji is explaining the events, how it happened, how the Kumaras who were born by Brahmaji, they were traveling and wandering, and when they reached the Vaikuntha planet, they were denied entry by these two gatekeepers who were called Jai and Vijay, and they got so angry with them that you are not deserving to stay in this Vaikuntha, and they told them, they cursed them to be born on the earth as demons. And in this way, um, the Kumaras also were feeling, did we do the right thing? Because after all, Jay and Vijay are devotees, right? They are devotees of the Lord. So then, when the Lord he heard this, he came out quickly, and then they had a change of heart when they smelled the tulsi leaves on the Lord's lotus feet and saw the beautiful form of the Lord. And then, from their Brahmavadis, they became devotees, pure devotees of Krishna. So then the Lord Vishnu he came running and he pacified the Kumaras, and then the Kumaras also repented on why did we curse these faultless gatekeepers like that. Then uh, the Lord then explains that actually it was um, actually it was my desire that I wanted to have exchange of virus with my devotees, and therefore this was arranged by me. So you don't have to feel bad about it. So then these two devotees were born as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and Hiranyaksha is challenging Varun Dev for a fight. Then Varun Dev says, "I'm too old. Please, there is the Lord has appeared as Varahadev, and he will be a better opponent for you. Vishnu has come down." So Hiranyaksha is so happy that finally he got somebody to fight with because nobody was his match. So before fighting with Hiranyaksha, Lord Varaha, first what he did was he rescued the earth from the ocean where Hiranyaksha had displaced her. And Hiranyaksha then started very angrily started throwing several weapons at the Lord. But then just by one slap of the Lord, they say, no, kaan ke niche laga dunga. Like that, just at the root of his ear, the Lord slapped him, and that was the end of Hiranyaksha. So it was not a difficult task for the Lord to do. So then we finished with the third canto part one. So now we begin with third canto part two. And so we would like to take a short break of 5 minutes. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, may I ask one question?
Yes, Mataji.
माताजी, तो जो श्वेत वराह ने धरती माता को अपलिफ्ट किया, तो उसका रीजन क्या था? धरती माता अंदर क्षीरोदक्षा सागर में चले गए थे, तो उसके पीछे कोई स्टोरी है माताजी? लाइक हिरण्याक्ष ने तो
No, the
किडनैप कर
story
लिया.
is the that is Brahmaji is telling already. He's saying that um, when I was busy doing creation, there was inundation, and Mother Earth went inside the ocean, the Garbhodaka ocean, unnoticed by Brahmaji. That was the first time Brahmaji was creating. No, he was creating so many things. So when he was creating, uh, there was inundation. There was the waves and the ocean and all, and Mother Earth went inside the Garbhodaka ocean unnoticed by Brahmaji. Brahmaji didn't even notice what happened. So there was no story as such. This is
ओके
what happened.
माताजी, so some by some mistake,
Yeah, by
unknowingly
the
she went.
unknowingly it happened. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay माताजी, thank you माताजी.
Thank you.
It's so nice that now we are starting third canto only, Mataji, Bhakti Vaibhav. After
Okay.
completing 2 chapter remaining in second canto, then we will start the third canto.
Yes. So nice.
Hare Krishna, there is a message from Charu Prabhuji. He wants to know who all want to attend his second course, that is the Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra course. What he is planning now, he wants to start the Yoga Sutra class on the second day, that is the day 2, from April onwards. But there will be a change in June when his schedule is known. Then the question now is who all want to attend the second course, that is the Yoga Sutra course. Like we spoke about the Bhagavatam course, that everybody is attending, all those who were there yesterday. And I suppose everybody will be attending the second course also, that is the Yoga Sutra course. Accordingly, I'll give the feedback to him. If somebody is not available or doesn't want to attend due to some reason, please let me know.
Prabhu, it's starting next week only, 7th of April is next week.
Next week, what I couldn't hear properly what you said.
Prabhu, the class is starting next week only, because next week only 7th April.
Next to next week, he has said he has sent the message 6th of April.
Okay,
That,
Prabhu.
that means next weekend also we'll be having the class, your class on Canto 4.
Okay, Prabhu.
That means I take that all those who are attending the class now, they'll be attending the Patanjali Yoga Sutra class, because that will also be very, very interesting because that talks of the mind, how the mind functions, and when we say the mind has to be controlled, what actually does it mean, and how it is to be controlled, and how it happens, the nuances and all that, that will be learning in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra class.
Yes, Prabhuji, we will do.
Yes, Prabhuji, we are interested.
Prabhuji, I am also interested.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji. Anam too.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
I am
Vibhor?
also interested, Prabhu.
okay. Very nice, very nice.
Prabhuji, it is our fortune that we get all this wonderful knowledge, Prabhuji. Our Prabhuji is giving so much. We are so fortunate.
Yes, because he is learning them from that course, and he wants us to learn that. He doesn't want to go that all this knowledge will be wasted. Because unless he imparts this knowledge to us, we will not be learning anything about that. So that is very, very nice, and we are very, very fortunate. And let us see how it goes on. Then he was asking me how long will take to finish the present course which we are running. I said it is never ending. It is not going to end, only because we are talking of the devotees, and there are hundreds and thousands of devotees about whom we will be talking. That we can carry on. That means throughout this year, that is 2024, Charu Prabhuji will be conducting this these two courses. So that is, we are very, very fortunate. And whatever is left out, we'll continue it after he finishes, or if there is a break. Earlier, I had given a the schedule of the Bhakta Maal classes, but now there will be a change, and we'll start those things after if there is a break or when Charu Prabhuji finishes his both the courses.
Okay, Prabhuji. Sure, sure.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We can resume.
Yes, Babaji.
So now we go to the second parts of the third canto part 2. And from our discussion, we are going to the fourth section, right? We divided the section into 5, right? We finished meeting of Uddhava Vidura. We finished Sarga Visarga. And we also talked about Lord Varahadev's pastimes. Now we are going to talk about Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So now we learned how Swayambhuva Manu was the first Manu, and he started the creation, and his daughter was Devahuti. So he had 5 children, Devahuti, Prasuti, and Akuti, and then he also had 2 sons, that is Uttanapad and Priyavrata. So Kadama Muni was a very, very learned and very dedicated and Ashtanga yogi who was doing meditation in the forests. And Narada Muni, when he used to come to Swayambhuva Manu's palace, he would describe about different devotees of Krishna. And when he talked about Kadama Muni, he was in high praise for this Muni, who was very learned as well as very devoted to the Lord. So, hearing about his qualities, Devahuti already decided to marry Kadama Muni. Then she told her father about this, that we are going, I have already set up my heart upon marrying Kadama Muni. So we are going to talk about this in these coming chapters. So empowered by Lord Krishna, Brahmaji is creating all the devatas, he's creating the sages, the rakshasas, the apsaras, gandharvas, he's creating the ghosts and the manus. This is the Visarga. This is Visarga. Then the next question is Vidura is asking about Swayambhuva Manu and his dynasty. Then Maitreya is talking about how Lord Brahma he ordered Kardama Muni to increase the population. So when Kardama Muni was thus requested by Lord Brahma, then he performed tapasya, and the Lord appeared to him. The Lord told him, "I know what is in your mind. I know why you are doing this tapasya. I know that you are looking for a bride, and this bride will come to you automatically. You don't have to worry. And tomorrow he will come, Swayambhuva Manu will come and bring his daughter with him." And that's what happened. The next day, Swayambhuva Manu, he came with his wife and his daughter, Shatrupa and Devahuti, and to the ashram of Kardama Muni. And then there, the marriage took place, where Devahuti was married to Kardama Muni, and Kardama Muni also accepted her. And then they left. So Devahuti was a princess from a very opulent palace, and now she was in the ashram of Kardama Muni, and she had to accept all these uh, conditions of sadhu, how she has to live in the forest without any opulence, and she was also doing austerities along with her husband. So he had accepted Devahuti on one condition, saying that after a male child is born, he will leave home and he will renounce. This was agreed upon. And Devahuti started serving from day one her great elevated husband. And as she was serving him and doing all kinds of austerities, Devahuti also became very emaciated. She became very thin and lean. And after many years, Kadam Muni looked at Devahuti and he felt sorry for her. He felt compassionate that this girl has come from a palace, from a king's family, and she has served me so nicely. So now it is my duty to also please her, give her happiness. And what is that she wants? He knew that she desired to have children. So he created a mystic airplane, a huge airplane in which there were lakes and buildings and mountains and gardens, everything in one airplane, which we can't imagine. So this was a mystic airplane which he created by his yoga siddhi. And then they were traveling everywhere in this 14 planetary system, different planets. He took her to the different planets, and then he showed her this is this loka, this is this loka, and this way. He brought her to different planets and showed her around, and then enjoyed with her for 100 years. And finally, she gives birth to 9 daughters. So after the birth of 9 daughters, she gives birth, and then he is already making arrangements to leave. But then she says that you had promised to give me a male child. So in this way, he again stays back. And then the 9 daughters are given in marriage. And then Kapiladev is born. After the birth of Kapiladev, then Kardama Muni, he renounces family life and he goes to the forest. He actually he understands that it's the Lord Himself who is born in his house as Kapiladev, and then he circumambulates Kapiladev, and then he goes to the forest. So then Lord Brahmaji is glorifying this wonderful couple, Kardama Muni and Devavati, are following the Varnashrama as per the Lord's order. Then Kapiladev is also grown up and is about to leave home and take sannyas. And then Mother Devahuti is saying, please, before you leave, deliver me from this Maya, from your Maya, because she knows he is the Supreme Lord. So he says, please, you have to give me the knowledge and you have to deliver me. Then Kapil Dev is very, very kindly, he explains the Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga to to his mother, and he tells that this is the solution, and that is called the Adhyatmic Yoga or the Bhakti Yoga. He establishes the superiority of bhakti, and then he explains the characteristics of the devotees. Then how what devotees are so exalted. Then he explains how we can transfer our attachments from matter to association of pure devotees. So if we that's all we have to do. From matter, we have to take off our mind and we have to fix it on the association of pure devotees. And when we attentively hear from them, then we can quickly make progress from Ado Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivrutti, all this, and then finally we can go to prema. So he is recommending Raganuga Bhakti. But then he's saying if you are not qualified, then we have to start off with Vaidhi Bhakti. So here he ends the topic how to attain Krishna through the easy process of bhakti. So this is a very beautiful verse, 3.25.25. So I'll just recite this verse. Satam prasangan mama veer samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha तज्जोषणादाशपवर्गवत्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति. The translation is in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is free and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. So we will read a small purport but very, very important purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. So important. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth because they do not associate with devotees. They cannot understand the Absolute Truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is a very difficult subject matter. And unless one has personal understanding of the Absolute Truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories, because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees. And by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is free. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord. And then, being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. So wonderful, this purport is so beautiful. We should really read this purport many, many times to see the depth of what Prabhupada is trying to say. And we saw in the Chetan Charitamrita also, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kaya, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So today we learned the time, in the time thing we learned how what is lava? One lover. One lover, let me read to you. One lover is 8 by 45 of 1 second. 8 by 45 part of 1 second. So that much is one lover. So lava matra sadhu sangha. If we get that 8 by 45 part of 1 second, we get a sadhu sangha of a pure devotee. Sarva siddhi hoy. All these will be perfect in that. Amazing, isn't it? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. So we'll go back to our discussion. Chapter 26 now is the beginning of another conversation within the conversation, within the conversation, within the conversation. That is Devahuti and Kapila Deva conversing. Devahuti is asking, what about the process of jnana? Then Kapila Deva is describing, he describes how Purusha and Prakriti, how the glance of Mahavishnu and how Prakriti is falling on Prakriti, and then Prakriti becomes he's infesting all the jivas inside, and then Prakriti gives the jivas all the different species of life. And then how the form of Virata Rupa comes about. He describes that. Then in the next chapter, 27, even when we are embodied, that means when we got this body, we can get liberation. How? By performing devotional service. And how? Without detachment. Sorry, with detachment, without attachment, with detachment, and with intense practice. So we have to do intense practice. It will not just come like that. We have to do intense practice. We have to do devotional service, and we have to do it with detachment. Detachment to this material world, detachment to all the material things around us. We have to perform devotional service. And at the end of life, then we can go home back to Godhead. So Prakriti, that means material energy, she cannot harm Maya. She cannot harm an enlightened soul. If we are already enlightened, if we are already attached to Krishna, if we are already so much in association of pure devotees, then Maya cannot harm us. Then in the chapter 28, again Devahuti is inquiring, what about the processes of yoga? Because her husband has gone to perform Ashtanga yoga. So she's asking, what about the process of he was doing Ashtanga yoga all his life. So she's asking, what is this process? Then Kapila Dev then describes the limbs of Ashtanga yoga. What is that? Yam, niyam, pratyahar, pranayam, dhyan, dharana, samadhi, all that. Then he describes how the Lord's form for dharana. So there are two things. One is Yoga Rurukshu and Yoga Rudha. We have learned that in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6. That is a person who is not a devotee yet. So he is still a Yoga Rurukshu, he is still starting. So for that person who is not yet a devotee, who is not, for him, he has to meditate on the Virata Rupa, on the Virata Rupa of the Lord. So, and then a person who is already a yogi, a dhyana yogi, he has already Yoga Rurukshu, he has already ascended, then for him, he has to do dhyana on the Paramatma feature. So these two things he's talking about, and then how meditation begins with the Lord's lotus feet. So that's why the first two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are so important, because the first two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are compared to the lotus feet of the Lord. So those two cantos, the first canto and the second canto, being the lotus feet of the Lord, we must meditate on these two cantos as much as possible. So that's where we begin. And then this meditation can destroy mountains of sins within our heart. Then we can continue in our path of bhakti. Then the chapter 29, on the inquiry of the path of bhakti in detail, she's asking, can you please explain, now you talked so much about bhakti, can you please explain to me in detail about bhakti? Then he explains the various classes of bhakti. That is, characteristics of pure bhakti, then angas of the bhakti, then the dangers of offenses, how we should not commit offenses, what are the different kinds of offenses, and how a pure devotee worships not only Krishna, but also all the living entities. So he's treating them with so much compassion, friendship, respect, like that. So he is explaining about how a devotee should be, how he should see everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. He should see the Lord within the heart of everyone. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. That knowledge we should have. So then, on the inquiry about the nature of time, then he explains how the time moves, how the characteristics of time is. That we already discussed in chapter 30. She inquires about the repeated birth and death of jivas. Why do jivas take birth again and again? So there he explains the next three shlokas of how materially attached persons, we are attached materially, so we neglect to serve Krishna. So therefore we are suffering in this youth, old age, death, all, and punishment in hell also. So all this suffering is because we neglect to serve Krishna. Why? Because Jive Swarup hai, Krishna Nityadas. We are Nityadas. That is our constitutional position. The moment we forget that, we forget our constitutional position, then we are grasped by this material world. So when we are in this material Maya, so whatever Maya is creating, she is creating different forms, and she's creating different uh, pleasures and different things to enjoy, and then suffering also is there side by side. So here we are entrapped in this enjoyment and suffering and enjoyment. And then this jiva is continuously suffering in youth also, old age also, death also, in the hell also. So then after suffering in hell, then again he's reborn by because of his karma, because of his desires. Then he experiences pain in the womb at birth. That is very elaborately described. And also how he offers prayers. The child within the womb is offering prayers to the Lord, saying that, my dear Lord, if I come out of this horrible situation which I am in, I will definitely become your devotee. That is the prayers of a fortunate jiva, because the jiva has remembered his previous life and is also suffering. So he gets that. Only a fortunate jiva will get that. And then he prays to the Lord. But of course, most of us, when we come out, we forget about it. And we are totally enveloped by Maya. But then he is criticizing Sakama Karma. That means Sakama Karma is asking for something in return for devotional service. So that is, he just criticizes that. It's useless. And he's glorifying bhakti, ahaituki bhakti. And because even if one attains heaven, after we perform sacrifices to the demigods and all, we go to heaven, still we'll fall down. Because once Kshine Punye Matya Lokam Vishanti will fall down after our Kshine Punya, our Punyas are Kshina, because our Punyas become, pious credit becomes exhausted. Punya is pious credit, Kshina is exhausted. So when all our pious credit becomes exhausted, we will Martya Lokam Vishanti, we will fall down back into this material world once again. So what is the use? It's like snakes and ladders, go up, come down, go up and come down. What is the use? So therefore he glorifies bhakti. So then Devavati is so enlightened, and then she follows the instructions of Lord Kapila and she perfects her life. She, then she glorifies the process of Sankirtan Yajna, which gives liberation and the Lord's abode after death. So this is the end of the third canto. So here I end my presentation. Thank you all very much for being so patiently listening. If there are any mistakes in my presentation, please forgive me for all my faults. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. If there are
Hare
any
Krishna
questions or
Mataji.
comments,
Yes,
yes.
Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam. So wonderful narration, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. You're so
Mataji,
kind.
Mataji, one question.
Yes.
अगर हम womb में थे और हम भगवान को प्रार्थना कर रहे थे, फिर हम बाहर आए तो कैसे भूल गए इसे? हाँ, इतनी प्रार्थना कर रहे थे और बाहर आके मतलब ऐसा क्या हो गया कि हम भूल गए? तो वो हम कैसे समझ
Ah,
सके माताजी?
because when we come out of the womb, immediately we are surrounded by loving relatives, especially mother, father, and the relatives. And they give us so much, try to give us so much comfort. Oh, somebody is feeding you, somebody is clothing you, somebody is bathing you, somebody is serving you in all ways. So different ways they are serving you, and you are getting attention. You have become the center of attention. Everybody is looking at you now, right? So then that I and mine starts coming from that point itself, and you start becoming entangled in Maya. Maya is enveloping you from all directions because she is throwing her Prakshepatmika Shakti and Avarnatmika Shakti. These two Shaktis which Maya has within her, she is enveloping the soul. Because the desires of the soul were there. This, what you say, short time, for a short time, the soul desired to come to surrender to Krishna. It was a short desire. But many desires were still there, prevailing from the past, which was just, more than what that little prayer that little child did in the womb. So, like that, Mataji.
Yeah,
I
Hare
hope I.
Krishna
Okay,
Mataji. I have
Mataji.
a
Okay,
question on
Mataji.
the same one. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me,
Yes,
Mataji? I had
yes.
question on the same one. So the verse I think you said is only the fortunate jiva who can offer this prayer. So is it all the jiva or only the fortunate jiva have this sort of opportunity to pray in the womb?
Unfortunately, yes, Prabhu. I think it's the fortunate jiva that is what is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Because unfortunate jivas normally they don't see the light also. You see, they just within the womb only they are killed. It's mentioned. And unfortunate jivas are not. They don't even see the light for so many births. They keep on going to wombs where they get killed. And fortunate jiva also because he could have done some devotional service in the past. Otherwise, how you will know who is Krishna? How you will know how he has to surrender to Krishna?
Hmm. Hmm. Right. And if I may expound expand a bit. This is just very much curiosity. Sometimes, like, we see people perform devotional service, and then, I mean, there are no historical records, I say, but there is an understanding that they come into through devotees. Like many devotees will do that Garbhodan Sanskar in ISKCON.
Garvadhan.
So yeah, through that, some souls, pious or devotee souls come. They also have to suffer all that.
Everybody has to suffer.
Everybody is okay.
Everybody has to
Very
suffer.
difficult. Very difficult. Thank you,
Very
Mataji.
difficult.
Wonderful class. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, that
Hare
part
Krishna,
that part
Mataji.
is very, very sorry, Prabhu. Yeah, that part is very, very, like, scary, and this thing, it makes us
Very
feel,
scary.
let's finish
You
our
should see
quickly.
the
Don't waste
description in the
even a
Bhagavatam.
second. Yeah,
You should read the description in the Bhagavatam. Oh God, it is so descriptive,
it's
elaborately descriptive.
very. Thank you, Mataji. Sorry,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Did not mean to interrupt.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's a very wonderful explanation. Mataji, one question. In case
Yes,
of Sukhdev Goswami,
yes,
uh, when he was born, he was Vairagi.
yes.
Uh, then in mother's womb, he was not, after coming, after birth, he was not affected by the material world.
No, he was ensured by. See, when he was in his mother's womb, he didn't want to come out. For 16 years, he was in his mother's womb. And then he was saying, I don't want to come out because I know the Maya is more stronger than what I'm suffering here. I'll let me be here only. I don't want to come out because I'll be caught by the Maya. Then Vyasadeva says, I will assure you nothing will happen. Then he says, no, 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 I don't want your assurance. I want assurance from Krishna only. Then Vyasadeva traveled all the way to Dwaraka, brought Krishna, and then Krishna assured that yes, you will not be affected from Maya, please come out. Then only he came out.
Oh, it means there was conversation between Vyas and Sukhdev Goswami.
Yes,
There was
yes,
conversation,
yes, yes. He
but
was requesting the child to come out because mother was suffering great deal. So he was requesting the child, please come out.
this is a very long
So
time, 16 years.
as soon as it came, yes, Mataji. As soon as it came out, he immediately went away into the forest without even no nothing, not even the same position as he came out, without clothes, just walked into the jungles.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very wonderful, wonderful knowledge you are
Yeah,
having.
these devotees
Days
are
you are having.
Vyasadeva running behind. Putreti, Putreti.
yes.
Hare Krishna, Mother. So
Hare
third
Krishna.
canto, yeah, third canto is a little difficult, lot of philosophy.
Yes,
As you
yes.
go
Very
25, 26, it's a lot of philosophy. I think you try to very nicely. Mother, I have one question that mixed up, like Sarga, Visarga. Maybe I never heard about it. Maybe I didn't have full. So far we knew Sarga and, that is the
Visarga.
Lord creation and Visarga, Brahmas. But the mixed, you said that four Kumaras. So how both of it involved? Because from Brahma, Narad Muni came, four Kumaras came, Lord Shiva also appeared, so many appeared. So how you say that Lord was there, that mixed that part.
Yeah. That was mentioned in the Bhagavatam. And it is mentioned that, I'll tell you the exact thing. It was
So
mentioned that it was mentioned that actually Brahmaji was meditating on the Lord because the four Kumaras were his first sons. So he was meditating on Krishna, and because he was meditating on Krishna, Krishna also was also involved in that creation. You see, he was not only just trying to create. See, other children which he created from his thumb or from his mind
mm,
or from intellect or from his whatever, he was creating from his own. But here, when he was creating Kumaras, he was meditating on Krishna, and because of that, Krishna was also involved. He was a cause. Krishna also became the cause of that creation. And therefore, both are causes. Brahma also cause, Krishna also cause, and therefore it is Sarga and Visarga together. That's
So
what is
it's
mentioned
only,
here.
yeah, only applicable for four Kumaras or also Narad
Eh,
Muni?
that, Narad Muni is contemplation. Narad Muni
Okay.
is not meditation on Krishna. He is
Mm.
contemplation. But he is the highest, it is mentioned that he is the best creation of Brahmaji. Best creation. That's all. I have it here.
And again, that question of when the child is 6 months or I think it's 6 months or 7 months, that's mentioned, right?
7 months,
He
yeah.
remembers previous
Yeah.
100 years, 100 births,
100 years.
not a
Yeah.
one birth. But second thing also, fortunate jivas, maybe I misread it somewhere. Sometime back I read that I don't see that it's a Srimad Bhagavatam, right? That we read in that
Yes.
canto. It's mentioned there, fortunate
Yes.
jiva.
Yes. Yes. I
Or it's a
will send.
generic
I will
word. It's a
send
generic word. It's a generic word. My understanding, because I also did, Bhakti Bible. So, understanding is that everybody goes through that because when you comes to the human birth, maybe I may be wrong, mother. So and anyone who comes
Yeah,
to a,
logically, everybody should do it. But
my understanding is that it's
yeah,
a.
yeah. But then you see, as I said, not everybody will know Krishna, isn't it? Only
No,
those
not
who
that.
have.
No, Krishna, mother, what I understand, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll go back on that because so everybody Krishna reminds that because getting human birth is not a rare, right? It's very rare. So he
Yes.
reminds previous 100 birth. And then, as you said, that we have promised and everything, 3 months almost, right? We promise, let me come out, and all that is given
Yes.
there. Once we
Yes.
come out, and as you say, love of mother, father, and he forgets on that. But
Yes.
I don't see anywhere it's a segregation. Krishna, no, because Krishna puts everybody through the same process to go through. I may be wrong, mother. I'll check it once again. But that
Okay.
was
I
my
will also check.
understanding.
I will
I,
also check because I have the notes here. Only
uh,
on my notes only I'm doing the
yeah.
presentation. So
Okay.
anyway, maybe I also got it wrong. Anyway, I will also check and
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
put it
Thank
in
you.
the group.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, mother. Thanks.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful, very nice.
Thank you, Archana
Doing before this class only, we are getting to learn in a brief, but very nicely you're explaining. It's very nice. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mataji. You're very kind.
Mhm.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Actually, I'm doing nothing. Just
No, you're
taking
doing
some.
a great job. Really. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji,
Hare
one
Krishna,
question.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
And,
Thank you, Mataji. I wanted to ask you, like in the end of the lecture, you said that Sakam Bhakti is condemned, like it is.
yes, because we'll still be here, no, involved in this birth and death cycle. What is the use? Bhakti, Sakam Bhakti as Karma Mishra Bhakti or Sakam Bhakti is not even Bhakti actually. It is it is just a it is just like a business deal when I will pray and you give me that kind of.
Yeah. So, Mataji, in this context, I wanted to further elaborate that because we are in Dukhalaya and all of us are suffering some
Yes.
reason or the other. So, many a times you have different kinds of suffering, health reasons
Yes.
and financial
Yes.
reasons, whatever. So, to pray to get rid of it for the sake of continuing the bhakti, is that also Sakam Bhakti?
Well, to that is one level, Mataji, but then the better level is Tattenu Kampam Susumikshamana. If you read this verse in which Brahmaji is saying that the devotee he says that Krishna, let whatever come to me. I don't care, but I will just be constantly devoted to you, and that is I will tolerate this. Tattenu kampam susumikshamana bhunjana eva. Whatever I have done in my past, I'm going to I'm going to suffer for that, and let me suffer for that. And the person who does like this and still meditates on Krishna, that person is very what to say sadaya bhag. That means he is right inheritor of bhakti, of Krishna's devotion. So that is the better way, Mataji, of doing.
Sure, definitely. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. It was a very
Thank
wonderful
you.
class.
Thank you.
One more question, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
One more. And these Sanak, Sanatan, these four Kumaras are the son of Narad Muni and are Brahma.
The four Kumaras, Brahmaji.
Brahmaji.
Narad Muni did not have children.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanad Pranam.
Yes, Prasad Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Very, very, very wonderful session, Mataji. So we have
Thank you,
such a great
Prabhu. You're
comment,
very
Mataji, on Bhagavatam.
No, Prabhu,
Mataji,
please.
yeah, it's
I'm
really
nothing.
great, Mataji, to hear from you. Yeah, very, very happy. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Maybe Sanjeev Prabhuji, Mataji, do you have these documents somewhere, Mataji? Because no, Charu Prabhuji is going to take this advanced session. So I thought like it's worth for all of us to go through these documents. Whatever you have put a lot of
Whatever
pain
I'm
in.
sharing
Yeah, yeah.
on the screen. Yes, Prabhu,
Uh,
it's my notes only. I will send
uh,
it, Prabhu. I will
yeah,
circulate.
please share it, Mataji. That will be really great. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe
Sure.
because Prabhuji is so many times mentioning it is going to be very advanced. So worth it to go through. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Really,
Yes,
really
Mataji, even
appreciate.
I need.
Yeah,
Yes,
really
I'll
appreciate
put
your
it in the
efforts,
group.
Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
appreciate your
also
efforts,
need.
Mataji. Yeah,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
you
It
took
will
a
be
lot
a
of
great
pain.
help, Mataji.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
it took a lot of pain
Sure.
to consolidate and wrap the notes and all that, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Thank you so much. Actually, I took help of so many books. So many different devotees have written wonderful books.
Oh,
I should mention Gauranga Darshan Prabhu,
oh,
and I have so many books around me.
mm.
And Narayani Devi Mataji. They have written this Bhagavatam at a glance, like this. It's a wonderful
Oh,
book.
okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam. This is on top of
Yeah,
Prabhupada 12 cantos, 18 books. Correct, Mataji? It
this
is
is
like
only
a
one
summary.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it is like a summary on top of
18
those books.
cantos. Yes,
Mm.
yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Very beautiful, very beautiful. If you go to see, this book is very
Just
beautiful
put the
with
book name, Mataji. Just put the book
all the
name.
okay, okay. All the
Yeah, yeah.
pictures are there. You see the
Oh,
pictures
okay.
in pictorial form, chapter by chapter. Very beautiful book. This
Okay.
is
Thank you.
Srimad. You can see, right? This Srimad Bhagavatam at a glance.
Yeah, thank you,
And it is
Mataji.
by
Yes,
whom?
Mataji, so
Yes,
wonderful.
Mataji.
And it is written by whom?
Just mention the
It's
book
written by
name in the book.
Narayani Mataji, Narayani Devi.
Okay.
It's a
It's
very
Narayani
beautiful
Devi.
book. Yeah, and there's also this book. This is one of the books. This is Bhagavad Subodhini by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu.
Canto 1. This is only for Canto 1.
This is for Canto 3. Like that, there are today I did 3, no? So there are
Yeah.
one book for each canto.
Varadev's picture on it, no, Mataji? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So there are one book for each canto.
Okay.
This is very elaborate, very good, very descriptive. But that book is only one book. This book is only one book. This is only one book
Yes.
for the entire Bhagavatam.
Yeah. You can read it before Charu Prabhu is taking class. It will be easy to understand that.
Yes, yes, very
Ah,
easy.
so
If you want, I will send all from here only. I've taken all the notes from
Okay, okay.
first canto to ninth canto. If you want, I can send all the
Notes.
Mataji, yes.
Yeah, maybe like everybody cannot buy the books, Mataji. So if you give the notes, even that is so much worth it to read before Char
Yes,
Prabhu
Prabhu.
start our
Yes,
sessions.
yes,
Canto 1, 2.
Mataji. As Prabhuji is saying, that is right. If you send us the notes, we can go through
Okay.
before the class starts.
Because
Yeah.
Prabhuji is emphasizing so many times that whatever he is going to take is very, very advanced. Yeah. Mm.
Yes.
It's
So
a
I will
great help.
share all the notes in the group, Prabhu. Sharad Prabhu, is it okay? I share the notes in the group.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, what is most important is what Charu Prabhuji has said. You should have the prior knowledge, basic knowledge of all these cantos. Then the understanding will be better. Like there are so many questions came out today in the third canto. That means if we have all this knowledge, this will be helpful in understanding Charu Prabhuji's classes. And this is how one should be familiar with all the cantos, fourth, fifth, sixth, like this. Like next weekend, Mataji, who will be taking the class on fourth canto. And thereafter, Charu Prabhuji will be starting his classes on day one, Bhagavatam class. And the last night he has sent a message that from 6th of April, that is ours in India, it is 7th of April, that is day 2, that is on Sundays, he will have classes on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So, if you are not yet familiar with the other cantos, please read them, even the abridged versions also. And the one I had sent you, that is the PDF version, if you read that, that is also enough, because that gives the complete Bhagavatam in gist. So that will be very, very helpful, because all the basic stories, what Mataji said, these will not be, these will be referred only, they will not be told. So that's why it is very, very important that we know the basics, then we can go to higher levels. Like somebody must read or study, say, matriculation, then only one can go to college, then to university, then can do PhD. Like these are the various levels. So the first level is knowing all the controls of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, the 10th canto will be given much more importance, more number of classes of the from the 10th canto, but there are about 2 to 3 classes on each of these cantos. So this is the thing. If you are not yet familiar, please go through them. This will be very, very helpful in understanding. That's what Charu Prabhuji's requirement is. And taking your concurrence, I have already sent the list to Charu Prabhuji today only during the class. Whoever wanted to attend his classes in Yoga Sutra like this, and we'll hear from him in subsequent days. Just one or two points. Like we learned about Maitreya Muni. And you know what is the specialty about Maitreya Muni? When Krishna was leaving this material world, you read in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Prabhas Kshetra, he was sitting under a tree and it was his 400 form, and Uddhava came there, and the Lord advised, rather gave him a lot of advice to Uddhava. That time Maitreya Muni was present. He was so fortunate. And it is the same Maitreya Muni who represented the 88,000 rishis during Suta Goswami's elaboration of Srimad Bhagavatam. He is so great a person. Then we are talking about the third canto, the birth and death of human beings. Like when somebody dies, he forgets anything and everything what has happened in this life. He doesn't remember. And that is a blessing to all of us, because you think of, suppose we remembered what happened in other lives, then havoc would be created. Then we will know what happened in other lives and what is happening now. So that's why by the design only, the Lord has planned like this. We forget everything, and while taking birth also, one remembers and thereafter one forgets. But this forgetfulness, that has to be we have to come over that, and we have to remember the Supreme Lord Krishna. Oh, these are the various things we should learn, and much more than what we are learning now. We'll be learning from Charu Prabhuji's classes. Thank you very much, Mataji, for taking such a nice class, very wonderful class, and everybody also took interest, and there are so many questions today. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhupada,
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I
I
also
just want.
saw.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
Just
Lalita Matan. Go ahead.
Hare
yeah,
Krishna,
Laita
Archana
Mataji.
Mataji. Thank you so much for your class.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that it's so much that summary you gave is very nice, like very nicely put. You know, when you said that Tattenu Kampan Sushimi Kshamana Bhunjiya Bhogan Rudira Pradipta. So I just wanted to comment on that. It's easy to understand, but it's difficult to realize and implement that kind of a situation. At least I go through it, and I have gone through it. So I just wanted to
Yes,
say that.
Mataji. I know. I realize your service with the what service you're doing.
No,
So
no,
I
I
realize.
had the accident and I couldn't even chant my rounds. So when Samta
I,
Mataji was asking that, is it bad to ask
no,
Krishna
no,
to
it's
help?
not bad. It's not bad. But
He's the only resort for us to go to,
it's the only resort. That is
for
the
us to
best
go.
thing to do when we are in
Yes. So
that
I
kind of
was
a
not even
condition.
able to chant my rounds. So I had a lot of
That is
backlog when I came out of that situation. Then I completed, but it was frustrating that when you pick up the bag, then the pain comes in, and then you'll say, oh, okay, and then you're not able to count the beats, but you're just in the mind, you're chanting and you're loudly chanting
that is
Lord or
extreme
whatever.
case. Extreme.
So
No, I'm
I
not talking
thought.
about extreme.
No, when I was working, I said I don't have the time to chant properly. But what if I'm not working? That situation was not working, but was in lot of pain. So I couldn't, still couldn't use the time to chant. So that is what I'm saying. Like I had the time, but I couldn't chant. But when I didn't have the time, I could chant, but very little, like, not completely in quality wise. So it is like a bargaining, like I would say, like,
Yes, Mataji. But actually, chanting Krishna knows. So even it's not a question of chanting on beads or anything like. But mananam, when we do mananam or we chintanam or we think about Krishna, that itself is devotional service. No, the highest devotional service. We hear, we associate with devotees. But if we don't do mananam, if we don't do chintanam, if we don't think of Krishna, if we don't think of what we heard, what we did. So in those kind of times when we can't do physically anything, we can still do mananam. We can still do because we know that how Krishna says that when we leave the body, we have to think of him, right? When we think of him, then we will go back to him.
that is
So
what we should facilitate also. Wherever you are all living, if
yeah,
any of the devotee is going through a difficult time, it is our
yes,
duty as Prabhupada's family that
yes,
we be there to make the mananam happen for them because they are
yes,
in lot of pain and it's
pain,
not happening
yes,
for them. Sometimes we are not that exalted that we are always
yes,
thinking about Krishna.
yes,
And it is our duty as children of Prabhupada, grandchildren,
yes,
to facilitate that,
definitely,
whether it's for family,
yes,
friends, and yeah, this is what happens. Like when I was going through the pain, I was realizing how other devotee patients go through all these difficult
yes,
situations. And Krishna saw to it. I'm so grateful to Krishna and Prabhupada and family that I never had problems for prasadam because the hospital was not giving proper food. So I had lot of prasadam, devotees were giving their association, and Krishna sees to it. Like, he
yes,
sends
definitely,
somebody or other, somebody or
definitely,
other.
definitely, we'll do that. And also, Radha Vinod Prabhu, I wanted to tell you that in chapter 31, text number
Hmm.
9, if you read text number 9, if you read chapter 31 of third canto,
Okay.
there you
31.
see, I will read
Uh,
the translation for you, Prabhu. The
hmm.
translation is like this: the child thus remains just like a bird in a cage without freedom of movement. At that time, if the child is fortunate, so this is the keyword. If the child is fortunate, he can remember all the troubles of his past 100 births and he grieves wretchedly. What is the possibility of peace of mind in that condition? So here
That
it is
word.
very clear.
Right.
If
Maybe I missed. Yeah. Thank you, mother. So, but it's a little bit of sounds like a partiality, right? But maybe this is written. It's there. I think that's the meaning, right? So, one which is fortunate to remember.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
fortunate
Thank you,
means he
mother.
must have done some sukruti, some agyata sukruti must be there. Otherwise, it is not possible.
Hare
Yeah,
माता जी
I
also
agree.
it is based on his karma also ना माता जी, तो उसने अज्ञात सुकृति की है तो ही उसको याद आएगा माता जी.
Then what happens? Like a human birth is a very rare, and the Lord gives
Yes,
us to, go back. So, again, that little bit of maybe, mother, what is the return is correct there. That's what is there, right? So, the
yes,
other
because
we
that
can
is why
argue and discuss about it.
we should like Lalita Mataji said, no, we should make sure that we are giving sukruti to others. That
Yeah,
sometime or the
I
other,
know.
if we are possible for us, we can give prasadam, we can give
Yeah,
harinam, we can do something for others to get sukruti. So somewhere agyat
yeah,
sukruti is gone and they will get some birth and they will get some remembrance.
yeah.
Actually, it said that sharing is caring in English. So
Yeah,
sharing anything, your knowledge, your prasad, or sharing the philosophy or whatever,
yes.
Naam Matra, like Harinam, that is very important at the end of the
Even
life.
you wear tilak and the kanti and go and people look at your tilak. Yes, I'll tell you one thing. Even in I'm living in Singapore, and here people, most of them 70% is Chinese. So when I go in metro or something like that, and then I'm wearing tilak, even the Chinese people come to me and say, "Oh, very beautiful! Huh? This one is very beautiful." So you see, they have appreciated
The
something
Chinese.
Sukruti they got.
Exactly, mother. Yeah, even I go in the public transit here in Toronto. When I put the tilak, especially the Gopi Chandan, which is the white one color, one lady came by, she's an African American. She said, "What is that golden thing that you're wearing on your forehead?" And I said, "Golden thing?" Like, I didn't. So then she said, they showed me, like, what is this thing? Like you said, like, what is this thing? So beautiful. So, that is how Agnyata Sukriti. Even they say
Yeah,
that Prabhupada used to say, like, even if you dress like a Vaishnava, even if you're not completely Vaishnava, just dress like a Vaishnava, that Agnyata
yeah,
Sukriti comes to other
correct,
people who appreciate it.
correct. So wonderful is this process of Krishna consciousness. We don't realize how fortunate we are. Krishna is so kind.
Krishna,
माता जी I
Mataji.
want to share one incident yesterday happens. May I?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
माता जी
Yeah, yeah.
मैं कल मेरे डॉक्टर के पास गई थी तो उनके वहाँ इंटर्न थे तो उनसे मिली मेरा उनसे कॉन्वर्सेशन उनके साथ था तो उन्होंने कृष्णा डिवोटी थे उन्होंने तिलक धारण किया था कंठी पहनी थी तुरंत ही हम पहचान गए तो इतना जैसा और उसका नाम विशाखा था तो नाम सुन के ही मुझे इतना अच्छा लगा कि भगवान ने मेरे 2 दिन से इतना वो बोल रही थी कि मुझे कोई लाइव एसोसिएशन चाहिए इतना मैं ईगरली वो करती तो उनका कल मुझे अनायास ही मिला मुझे मालूम नहीं था कि कौन है तो कल इतना मुझे अच्छा लगा कि मुझे भगवान को इतना प्रे करी थी कि विशाखा सखी को मिलने को मिल गई इतनी मुझे बहुत ही खुशी हुई माता जी कल
Very nice.
थैंक यू
Very nice. Yes, Nitya Sakhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Wonderful sessions you are
Thank you,
having.
ma'am.
And
Thank you.
we do appreciate, yes, yes, so much of seva you are doing for all of us. And you are offering Sukruti to all of us. My
No, I'm not
uh,
doing anything.
my query is how you memorize all these things. Because for so many years we have through this Krishna Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, and Bhagavad Gita, etc. We are conducting sessions, but even sometimes we do forget most of the things which are most common names. We do forget sometimes. So, how to sharpen our memories with respect to this Shastra studies? So, you and Sharad Prabhuji can have sessions also. The way speed reading was taken by Charuchandra Prabhuji on similar background. you can conduct sessions also, so that will be benefited. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, my only thing is that we have to read more and hear more. The more we hear and more we read, we get accustomed to the names because we are not accustomed. No, that is why. For example, our relatives, our close relatives, we know all their names so well and so. But what about us little relatives or little further away? We try to remember who was that person. What I forgot this person's name. A friend I've seen after many years. I forget, no? So it's like that. If we are in constant association, we're constant touch, immediately we'll remember. It will be like second nature. So we just have to hear more, read more. That's the only solution, Mataji. No, at least what I think.
Quality reading and quality hearing. Yeah. Very good.
क्वालिटी हो ना हो कान के ऊपर से जा रहा है ना the moment you keep on hearing and the words and all will be just means on the in the eardrum they will be just falling and it will certainly have an effect and certainly you
Mataji,
remember.
if I write the points, then it's in my long-term memory. If I don't write, I don't understand. So what I have gone through the session. So I keep
Yeah,
writing the points. Yeah.
some people have this habit of writing and for me no, for me is hearing. The more I hear I
Mhm.
can pick up. But even reading is little sometimes difficult, but hearing is more effective for me. I try to hear more. 7 to 8 hours a day, you have to hear, then it is. I mean, I know it's not possible, but whenever there is time, when you're doing some physical work also you can do. And when you're not doing something which is mental work, you're doing something other than that, then you can keep on hearing, put on earplugs and hear as much as possible.
Thank you,
माता जी
Mataji.
मनन और चिंतन भी काम कर सकते हैं ना ज्यादा फिर उससे
Because once you start hearing, then you start when you have one
एनालाइजिंग
whole
वी
database
कैन
in the head,
एनालाइज
then
यस माता जी
then you will start thinking over what you have heard. So mananam is very important, very very important. When that time take place is when you are not able to hear and not able to do anything also. So like for example, let's say you're traveling and you cannot access, then you can do manana. Or you're lying down the bed, sleep is not coming. You can do manana.
हरे
Sorry,
कृष्ण
taking so
शरद
much of
प्रभु
your
जी
time.
हरे कृष्ण शरद प्रभु thank you for giving that link it's very nice helpful I finished canto 1 reading that it's very nice detail
Sharad Prabhu, she is talking to you.
Yeah, I think he could not get here.
I think yeah hare krishna sharath prabhu ji
Yes,
thank
yes, Mataji.
yeah thank you very much you sent that link for bhagavatam I read the first canto it's very nice and very detailed and very nice
Okay, okay.
simple yeah thank you very much
All others are requested to read that also.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Prabhuji,
much.
share also. I want to also go through. Just share, Prabhuji.
he has already shared in our group
Already in the group.
yesterday I have
Yeah,
second
that's the
time shared
Mataji
वो
said.
में तो भावना माता जी को चाहिए था तो वापस मैंने शेयर किया है प्रभु जी
So it is the
Yeah.
Bhakti Shastri in that group, Prabhuji?
हाँ भक्ति
Bhakti
शास्त्र
Shastra.
यस प्रभु
Okay, I'll go
1200
through that.
pages, no? Raksha
Okay, I'll go.
Mataji.
Yes,
1200 pages book, no?
yes
yes,
yes
yes.
माता जी
Yeah.
1284 yeah
We can conclude the class with the Nrsimha prayers, Mataji.
Yes, Raksha Mataji will chant today. Raksha
yes
Mataji.
yes माता जी हरे कृष्णा Dandavat pranam to all devotees. So wonderful association. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladaine. Praladaladaine. हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शीलटङ्कानखालाये शीलटङ्कानखालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपते तव करकमलवरे नाखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय हो नरसिंहदेव 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 जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय हो भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय हो अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हो
जय
हरे कृष्ण माता जी
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
हरे हरे
थैंक यू
जय
वेरी
कृष्ण
मच
वंशाकल्पतरुश्च
जय
कृपा
प्रभु जी
सिंधु
नमो
च
नमः
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
थैंक यू वेरी मच
नमो नमः
हैप्पी गौर पूर्णिमा टू ऑल गुरु
हैप्पी
गौरंगा
गौर
की
गौर
जय
पूर्णिमा
पूर्णिमा
Happy Gaura
हैप्पी गौर
Purnima.
पूर्णिमा टू ऑल
Happy
Hare
या
Krishna.
Purnima.
हरे कृष्ण
Thank you to all.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhuji.